Astronomical Report with your girl Sunshine Monet L. I was not here with you guys on Tuesday with 513.9, so we'll start off there with the 513.9. You guys know we're in the month of enforcement. This is the month of Hair Kahootie, enforcing our internal law that we manifested and implemented for ourselves in the month of 4, which was the month of Chesed Maya energy. So now we're in the space of 5, and we are, enforcing that Mayat, that chesed energy that we created, that celestial blueprint. 5 also deals with our confidence and courageousness. This 5 is associated with, hey Black, peace of the God. 5 is also associated with Leo energy, being confident and courageous, tapping into your inner creative self, your romantic self, your inner thespian, your ego, your self-centered self, activity, taking action is definitely, on the forefront here as we deal with all of this fire energy, whether from the Aries, Ogun energy of the 5 and the Netarus, or the Tree of Life, or if we're dealing with the 5 in astrology with Leo energy. And then also 5 in numerology realm deals with being curious, going on adventures, tapping into those different parts of self, right? So that's the month that we're in. Yesterday was a day of 13. Yesterday was definitely a karmic number, learning how to take action on how you feel. Expressing what you know is definitely a big deal on a day of 13, because those who speak out against what everybody else is chatting about, what everybody else is doing, anybody that decides to go against the grain, certain things start to happen to those kind of people, you know what I'm saying? So we've learned to survive through like a herd immunity type of mindset. If we all think the same thing, if we all do the same thing, if we all, behave the same way, think the same way, that's the best way to go. But gratefully we are entering the age of Aquarius, which is all about being an individual, being unique, being revolutionary. So it's not, we're out of that herd mentality thing with the things. Okay. But yeah, 13 was definitely a karmic number. 1 dealing with knowledge and the Ketters. 3 dealing with expression, creation, emotions and things of that nature, which brought us to a day of 4. We create the divine, the blueprint with what we express, what we create, how we act on what we know. We create some sort of blueprint there. Hey KB, how you doing, love? And then we take that 4, we put it into the month of 5. So we're going to enforce that chesed, that 4 energy, that divine blueprint we created, being, utilizing that karmic energy. And that brought us to 9. So we gave birth to, 9 is the number of born, birth, Yesod. This is the divine celestial womb. Hey, Zachary. So we gave birth to, what we enforced from that divine blueprint by expressing what we know and taking action on how we feel. And so, hopefully you guys did that. Seen some other things happening yesterday. Yesterday was a big karmic energy for a lot of people yesterday, especially in the celebrity realm. I know I'm probably late to the party with certain like celebrity news and government news and different things like that, because I like minding my business and I take that real seriously. Hey, Mr. Honesty. But a lot of different news stories came across my field yesterday, with a lot of people getting their karmic energy popping out, people standing on what they know and how they feel and things of that nature. So yeah, yesterday was definitely a day of being born. And then we take the 9 and we put it into the year of 9, because it's the year of birth. This is the year of Yesod, your Moja energy. 9 also deals with Sagittarius energy. This is Jupiter coming into your sensual, sexual self. Still your ability to create. Hey, Patrick. So, we put the 9 and 9 together, and that brings us to 1 and 8. So 1 dealing with the Ogun, taking action energy. 8 dealing with the transformation. So this is the internal, external side of the solar plexus chakra happening here, because 1 is the Ogun, the fire in the gut. Gut controls the mind. Everything starts with the thought. 8 provides the transformations in response to what the gut is saying that it wants. Overall, yesterday was a day of 9. Yesterday was a day of completion, wholeness, giving birth to things, and it all started with that karmic number of 13. So that was actually like a nice day yesterday to manifest some things into your space and what you want. All right. Hey, Hamdan, this isn't about my opinion type thing. One, watch how you talk to me. Especially if you want my attention. I do go to my comments and respond to everybody in my comments when I take a breath to do so. Outside of that, this is the numerology astrology report. Okay? All right. How do I feel about Pakistan? I think it's bullshit. I'm not a fan of war. I'm not a fan over fighting over land. I think that's goofy. This is everybody's land. Everybody, if you can breathe, you belong here. And I think it's bitch shit to be constantly attacking people who are not fighters. Like, how are y'all bombing women and children and men that are walking around just trying to live their lives? If you got beef with somebody, you should go and fight that person. I'm a fan of leaders putting on their own boxing gloves and getting in a ring and fighting the other leader they claim they have big beef with. Terrorizing regular people that are just trying to live their life, having children, having PTSD every time they hear a loud noise, is ridiculous. I don't care if it's Pakistan or Israel or whoever else. It's bullshit. Period. And that's how I feel about that. I'm not a fan of any type of violent energy happening towards innocent people at all. I don't care what your reason is or what land you think belongs to you. It's goofy and it's dumb. And land is abundant and way bigger than all of us. So I stand on that. Anyway, astronomically speaking, peace to y'all over there on TikTok. Thank you guys so much for tapping in. I appreciate y'all. I think I've seen some comments, but I see a lot of people coming in and out of here, so. Thank you, Crystal. I appreciate you. All right. We start the day off at 100% Juan and Gibbous moon. If you would like a personal reading, you can message me. Moon rising at 9:33 p.m. and setting at 5:51 a.m. So now we're in that moon of cleansing. We are at the 100%. We're still at like that full moon energy, but we are cleansing. That's how we started off yesterday on a Tuesday. It was Scorpio moon on the tropical and the Vedic. So mind and body was in that space of transformations and empowerment. The spiritual side of things was in Sagittarius, which is expansion and abundance. Moving towards traveling and foreign interaction. It's always in the 10th house. So being tapped into the moon, which is your nurturing self, your sense of belonging, your emotions, and feeling empowered by those, going into empowering, situations, transformation, truths coming out about how you feel about certain things and stuff like that. All in alignment with that 13. If you engaged in any of that energy, success is sitting there for you. Sunrise was at 5:45 a.m. and setting at 8:06 p.m. We were in Taurus on the tropical and on the draconic. So mind and soul were in alignment and finding that balance between the physical and the non-physical realm, the space of business and the space of emotions. All right. Hey, peace, Roxy. We were in the Vedic chart in the sun, because the sun rules our experiences. We were in the experience of new beginnings. Hey, goddess, how you doing, love? Thank you for the gifts. We're at a 28 degree. So as far as the lunar mansion goes, I think we talked about this already, but we moved on to the third lunar mansion, which is the Kritika nakshatra. We're here until we get to 10 degrees Taurus constellation. So we're here for about another 12 days or so, because we only move a degree a day. Some positive traits here: being pleasant, physically attractive, goal-oriented, leaders, and straightforward. Some negative traits is poor money management, being untrustworthy, stubborn, and impatient. Now, as far as the moon goes, yesterday when we started off the day, the moon was at a 3 degree Scorpio in the Scorpio constellation. So as far as that lunar mansion goes, we were at the 17th lunar mansion, the Anuradha nakshatra. Some positive traits that we may have felt on our emotional self: being spiritual, devoted, wise, fun-loving, well-educated, healthy, and vigorous. Some negative traits: being deceitful, rebellious, emotionally needy, jealous, and melancholic. So that's the sun and the moon giving us our experience through the nakshatras, the lunar mansions. The moon and Dashubha were in minimal angle yesterday. Dashubha is a star in the Scorpius constellation. It gives off the energy of Mars and Saturn. So that solar plexus chakra enforcing, the boundaries, the discipline, and the order that you receive from the challenges that you've been through. This particular star gives off the energy of assault, immorality, shamelessness, and improves misfortune, which has gotten to a lot of what I was talking about, like the different news stories that have come across my feed with different celebrities. Oh, y'all being weird. Hold on a second. A lot of violence happened yesterday on a lot of people. And then a lot of people finally seeing their day in court or whatever. But that's all in the 13th. That's all in the Scorpio moon. It's all in the transformations and the truths coming out. But that minimal angle was at 10:57 a.m. The moon was 3.1 degrees south. Conjunction happened at 11:31 a.m. The moon was 3.1 degrees south. And we were able to observe that at 4:57 a.m. with a 4.4 degrees southwest separation. The moon in Graphias was also in conjunction at 1:18 p.m. The moon was 6.1 degrees south. Graphias is also in the Scorpius constellation. It gives the energy of Mars and Saturn as well. The equation of time, which is the sundial time minus the watch time, it reached 3 minutes and 38 seconds yesterday. This was, the sun transited very early at 12:55 p.m. yesterday. Let's go running in flip-flops. I have a really big scar on my knee from running in flip-flops when I was a child. Like, my meat was hanging out of my knee, so no. Then we have the moon making it to Ant Aries yesterday. That minimal angle was at 10:27 p.m. The moon was 0.9 degrees south-southwest, conjunction at 11:13 p.m. The moon was 1 degree south, and yes, it was visible because we are in the full moon energy. Now, Ant Aries is a little bit easier than Graphius and Dashuba as far as the electromagnetic field goes, as Ant Aries gives off the energy of Mars and Jupiter. So we go from Mars and Saturn with the challenges to the solar plexus chakra, to Mars and Jupiter to the expansion, the abundance, and the wisdom on the solar plexus chakra, the enforcement of things. This star is located at the heart of the Scorpius constellation. It gives off the energy of pride, being demanding, liberal, and also being rash and headstrong, but not as not as hard as Saturn getting violent. You know what I'm saying? But it's still a star of strength nonetheless, right? So we had some harsh energy happening in our sense of belonging, our emotional self, home, and family. Also in divine alignment with us being in that karmic number of 13, starting the day off on a Tuesday, a day ruled by Mars energy, which is all about the solar plexus chakra, enforcement of your chesed, your inner chesed. The moon was in opposition of Uranus. We know Uranus is the planet that gives us the progressive pushes that we need to keep moving forward. Hey God, peace to the God. So we have our emotions in opposition with Uranus. The moon was at 3 degrees Scorpio constellation, while Uranus was at 2 degrees Taurus constellation. Or if you want to go the tropical route, the moon was at 27 degrees Scorpio, while Uranus was at 27 degrees Taurus, in the 4th house of home and family, sense of belonging, and Scorpio is in the 10th house of achievements and success. So we had Uranus at that IC line, and we have the moon at that MC line. So whenever I see planets in opposition, I like to use them to complement each other. So you can either keep the moon close, your transformations and empowerment on your emotions, and project that towards the progressive, make that, influence the progressiveness and your ability to balance your emotions and your wealth, the material things, the things you find beauty in. Or you can hold the Uranus and Taurus close to yourself and utilize that to project into, your sense of belonging. You know what I'm saying? It depends on how you want to use it. I personally, now saying it out loud, I want to do both, but I would like to use like the Uranus closest to me in that sense, in that 4th house, which is the house ruled by the moon. You know what I'm saying? But use that progressive energy and that balance to find my sense of belonging somewhere. I want to belong somewhere. But yeah, so that's that there for yesterday. Now let's get into today. Today is a day of 1 and 4. And we love it here. Today is a great day for people born on the 5th of the month, whether it's 5, 1 and 4, 2 and 3. Thank you, God. I appreciate you. Those energies 1 and 4. Now we have the intellect of our chesed. So yesterday was 13, which brought us to 4. We got into the karmic number that brought us our internal blueprint. Now we are having knowledge of our internal blueprint. Also taking action. 1 is the number of knowledge. 1 is also taking action, dealing with the gut, Ogun, as Aries, Mars energy rules over the first house. 1 in numerology deals with being a leader, being a cardinal like energy and taking initiative and stuff like that, right? Yeah, that's the ones. And 4 deals with Chesed. This is Maya and the Netarus. This is Chesed in the Tree of Life. This is the celestial blueprint. This is your internal law. 4 in numerology realm is like your sense of stability, being dependable and reliable, which comes from having an internal law. If you don't have an internal law, you usually aren't dependable or reliable, and you sway and you allow people to come in and disturb your peace. And now you're asking other people to become your peace because you're not stable enough to hold on to your peace yourself. You're giving away a lot of your power. So the point is, have a strong 4. And so that's what we have on the 1 and 4, taking action and having knowledge of that 4, that chesed energy. And that brings us to 5. Now we enforce that, right? This is the actions that I take on my internal law. This is my Maya. These are the laws in the order. If you want to be in my space, if you want to have this kind of relationship with me, if you want to be a friend, if you want to be an associate, if you want to be a partner, if you want to, just have access to my energy, this is a certain way you gotta behave. Am I trying to control you? No, but you can't come in my space and do whatever you want. You got to get the fuck on, And some people take that as control, which I think is weird, because why can't you just get the fuck on? Why can't you just leave me alone if you can't do what I require for you to have access to my energy? It's really that simple. But neither here nor there. So 5, you're enforcing that. You know what I'm saying? You're enforcing whatever you want to enforce in that realm. 5 also deals with, in the numerology realm, like your curiosity, taking going on adventures. 5 in the numerology realm gives more so like the Gemini energy than it does the fire that you see in the Netarus or astrology with Heracudi and Aries, Mars, okay? But yeah, we're done with that 5. I'm going to put the 5 into the